Pete Alonso should be named the captain of the New York Mets, or at the very least co-captain, but it should not solely go to Francisco Lindor like many people are discussing. My personal reasoning for that is the fact that Pete Alonso is a homegrown talent, and he was with the team before Francisco Lindor. Francisco Lindor is an outsider. Juan Soto is an outsider. Both of them got big-time money to come play for the Mets. Now, it's Pete Alonso's turn to get some big money. We saw it happen last offseason, and he got the cold shoulder from the Mets organization, and they tried to lowball him, and they tried to make him take a sweetheart deal. That way, they could, pinch pennies and save money, when I don't think that's the right move to do. I think you have to show appreciation, and you have to tip your cap to the guy who was there for you when nobody else was. I'm not sure if Francisco Lindor agrees to come to the New York Mets. In a trade, there's really not much you could do, but he definitely doesn't choose to re-sign with the Mets if a guy like Pete Alonso isn't already in place. Pete Alonso is one of, if not the best hitting first baseman in the league. He's having a fantastic year right now for the New York Mets in a big contract year. We're going to see what happens in the offseason. My inclination is that the New York Mets are going to try to lowball him again, and they might even, the trade deadline is in a couple of days here, so this video may age poorly in that regard, but I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to use Pete Alonso for a blockbuster trade, which would really turn my stomach. Pete Alonso is Mr. Met. He will have, if he's allowed to, if the New York Mets don't try to pinch pennies and they allow him to re-sign, like if they work with him and they want to re-sign him the way they wanted to sign Soto, so they broke the bank for him, they broke the bank for Lindor, break the bank for Alonso, make him the highest paid first baseman in baseball, at least a top 3 first baseman in baseball, highest paid. Why not? You got a blank checkbook. That's the whole point of, people being happy about Steve Cohen, is that he has this superpower, right? He's the richest owner in the league. Make it happen. It would be a shame if it doesn't. And he will have every Mets offensive record under his belt if he is allowed to continue playing for the Mets. Another thing that I want to bring up is the fan base. The fan base should be ashamed of themselves for the way that they turned on this guy, who was really the only thing the Mets had to cheer for a few seasons. Alonso showing up in the home run derby, the only representation the Mets had in the All-Star game and things like that at the time. And they all turned their back on him in favor for a new front office and a new ownership that, in fairness, represents hope and good things to come. So, me personally, I like Steve Cohen. I've got videos criticizing him as well, but for the most part, I think it's a great thing that a Met fan became a billionaire and now is able to basically see to it that we are a contending team year after year after year. And I think that's what they've done with the Juan Soto move. They've become a perennial contender, but you must keep Pete Alonso. He is a very important part of the recipe for the Mets' success, and you see it in the records books, you know what I mean? So that's my take on that. You got to keep Pete Alonso, and I think he should be more so considered to be the captain of the team, if not co-captain. People want to talk about how Lindor is more personable and he likes talking to the media and all that stuff. What about the strong silent type? Whatever happened there? So that's my take. You could be a leader without being Mr. Personality. You don't have to be that type A guy for the media. You could be someone who likes to be more reserved and lead by example and by actions and by work ethic and things of that nature. So if Pete Alonso is able to do that, why can't he be a leader of the team? Why can't he be a captain or a co-captain? I don't think... I have a hard time bringing in an outsider in Lindor. And fair enough to him, he's been a great Met so far, but he's a Johnny-come-lately. So is Juan Soto. He's a Johnny-come-lately compared to Pete Alonso, compared to a guy like Brandon Nimmo. You know, why not reward your long-term great players? I don't get it. I don't know why you would try to skimp out and make them take a pay cut or whatever. I think it's a slap in the face, but I think that's all I've got for this one. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree. It does not matter. Just join the discussion, follow for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.